So in this video, I am going to be transplanting some of my plants. They're outgrowing the pots that they're in, and they probably should have been transplanted a little while ago, but we're going to get it done today. So first I'm going to show you how I make my potting mix for my seedlings that aren't ready to go into the ground. I'm going to be using this to transplant and to start seeds. I'm going to show you how I make that. So I have a regular potting mix I'm going to put in there. I'm not really loyal to a specific brand. This is just what they had right now. And as you probably might be noticing, a lot of the things that you normally see aren't really in stock right now. And then I use peat moss and perlite. This helps keep the soil moist so I don't have to water as often. Yeah, so I'm just gonna put all these into my barrel and mix them. So these are my tomatoes. They're kind of getting really big for these little pots. But I have a beefsteak variety, homestead, I have a cherry rootgers, and then like a culinary blend pack that I wanted to try. So when you're transplanting, some people like to fill it and then dig a hole. Usually I like to just grab out the seedling and kind of hold it in the middle and then backfill, especially with tomatoes. I'm actually gonna start with the beefsteak tomatoes. So with tomatoes, they will actually grow roots. If you see all these little hairs, they will grow roots all along the stem. So you can actually plant it very deep. So I'm gonna remove these starter leaves. I'm gonna place it down in there and then start to fill. I like to do it this way because I can make sure I get the plant as deep as I want it. And then just set it to the side. So I'm gonna be starting some seeds. I already have some peppers coming up right over here. I'm gonna start some seeds over here. I'm gonna try to start some cucumbers. This is a variety that is supposedly bred for growing in California specifically. We'll see. I haven't had much luck starting cucumbers from seeds and transplanting them, but we're gonna try again. I wanna grow some more collards. So where I live in Southern California, it's getting into the mid 80s during the day. Nighttime temperatures are still in the 40s. So personally, I could start sowing things directly into the garden, no problem. but I'm gonna stick to starting them in trays. And if your days are getting hot, but your nights are still in the low 40s and 30s, or you live in a colder area, you might still want to start in trays. So I'm going to be doing collard. I do want to try to grow some more kale. Let's see. Definitely want to start some more lettuce. Let's see. Paris Island or Maine. Let's try that one. Different variety of carrot. I mean a cucumber. Okay. We'll do some pickling cucumbers, Boston pickling, a muncher cucumber, and then a straight 8. And then we'll do some romaine lettuce, some kale, and then collards. Now on the back of the seed packet, they'll have some information on there if you are new and getting into gardening. The only thing you really need to pay attention to is the planting depth, and generally you can probably tell by the way on the map it'll give you dates like of when to start. These are pretty self-explanatory on how to understand, but you also want to keep a lookout for your local weather patterns. So like this is like a rough estimate. So for me, I could start these from February to June, but if I would have started these in February when we had gotten like almost 2 weeks of like winter weather, which is very unusual for us, then my cucumbers would have died. So you gotta look at your local weather, but also take a look at this. I'm gonna start with the muncher. I like to do, you know what it is. The cucumbers, I like to do, since these are so small, I do 2 in each one. Next, we're going to do the straight 8. I'm just going to poke a little hole into the top. Lettuce, these seeds are smaller, so I don't really can't really separate these, so I just sprinkle a little bit into each hole. These are kind of small too, but a little easier to see. So I tried to put 2 to 3 in each one. So I will say that these seeds from In My Gardener, the Boston pickling cucumbers, are the best I've done with cucumbers so far. Probably could be the seeds. Don't really think it was me, because I haven't had any success really with cucumbers, except for these. last row, we're gonna do collards. So this is what it looks like, all of the seeds in there. And then I'm gonna grab my peat moss and fill the holes up all the way so that everything is covered with soil. And then gonna pack the holes in. So the great thing about using trays is that you can just pop these out and then fill it up with water at the bottom. And then you can water it from the bottom. And these, I believe you can find at like Lowe's or Home Depot for, I wanna say, somewhere between the $8 to $10 range for the cheap ones. So not very expensive, and again, you can reuse these. I've had these for almost 3 years.